Have you noticed subtle changes in someone you love over the past year? Those little things that just don't seem quite right, but you can't quite put your finger on it? It's a heartbreaking reality that most people assume death in old age happens suddenly, like a switch being flipped. But the truth, the often unspoken truth, is that the body whispers quiet warnings, sometimes months, even a full year before life reaches its final, inevitable stage. Sadly, tragically, many of us miss these gentle signs because they seem so insignificant at first, like a mere shadow passing by. And by the time we finally recognize them, when the truth hits us with the force of a tidal wave, it's often too late to truly prepare, to say all the unsaid things, to make the most of the precious time that remains. In this video, we're going to delve into 5 key signs, 5 crucial indicators that often appear a year before an elderly person passes away. These are the signs that can be so easily overlooked, brushed off as just getting old, a casual dismissal that can cost us dearly. These signs are often subtle at the beginning, like a faint melody you can barely hear. But understanding them, truly understanding their significance, can provide you with the emotional clarity and the practical tools you desperately need to make the absolute most of the time you have left with your beloved. Why is this video so crucial, so vitally important for you? Because recognizing these signs early, even the faintest whisper of change, can empower you to provide better care, the kind of care that soothes and comforts. It allows you to create truly meaningful memories, the kind you'll hold onto forever, like treasured photographs in your heart. And it helps ensure that your loved one's final stage of life is filled with the comfort, the dignity, and the profound peace they so richly deserve. By watching until the very end, please, stay with me. You'll learn how to navigate these delicate changes with compassion, with unwavering clarity, ensuring you're not caught off guard, blindsided by the inevitable. Instead, you'll be empowered, armed with knowledge to make the best decisions, the most loving choices. This knowledge, this understanding, can bring a profound peace of mind, a sense of calm amidst the storm, and help you offer the unwavering love and support your family member needs during their most vulnerable time, their final chapter. Stay with us. Understanding these 5 signs is more than just being aware. It's about actively making the remaining moments as beautiful, as meaningful as humanly possible. You won't want to miss these crucial insights that can make all the difference in the world. If you're not already subscribed, I implore you, please consider subscribing and activating that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Your support means the world to me. And if you found this video even slightly helpful, please help me continue spreading these valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make even better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Significant weight loss. One of the earliest and most undeniable signs, a stark red flag, that someone you cherish may be approaching the final chapter of their life is unintentional weight loss. At first, it might seem like nothing more than a small shift, a belt that suddenly needs tightening by a notch or 2, clothes that hang a little looser than before, like they're borrowed from someone else, or a lack of appetite that slowly, insidiously creeps in, stealing away their enjoyment of food. These subtle changes might be easily dismissed as just part of aging, a natural, albeit unwelcome, consequence of getting older. But what we often tragically fail to recognize is that this gradual weight loss, especially when it happens without any conscious effort, without them even trying to diet, is rarely a benign sign. It is a message from the body, a desperate plea, a message that says things are beginning to change in ways that are much deeper, much more profound than we might want to admit, than we can bear to acknowledge. The body may no longer be absorbing nutrients as effectively as it once did, like a sieve with widening holes. Precious muscle mass, the very scaffolding of their strength, starts to diminish, to wither away. And essential bodily systems, the intricate machinery that keeps us going, begin to slow down, to falter. Aging does naturally lead to some loss of muscle, a gradual weakening, but when this process accelerates, when it feels like they're shrinking before your very eyes, it's a clear, undeniable signal that something is terribly wrong. The body might be struggling to digest food properly, like a furnace that's no longer burning efficiently, or it may no longer be able to process protein in a way that supports vital muscle maintenance. This leads to muscle wasting, a heartbreaking sight, which isn't just a physical concern. It affects the very core of a person's independence and strength, their ability to navigate their own life. The loss of muscle mass weakens the body, making even the simplest movements, like getting out of a chair, more difficult, increasing the terrifying risk of falls, and perhaps most alarmingly, compromising the immune system, their body's last line of defense. A body that can no longer function as it once did becomes more susceptible to infections and illnesses, turning even a minor cold into a potentially life-threatening situation, making the entire system more vulnerable, like a house with broken windows in a storm. Appetite changes also play a significant role in this devastating weight loss. Many older adults simply don't experience hunger the way they once did. Their sense of taste dulls, making even their favorite foods taste bland and unappealing, and food no longer holds the same joy, the same comfort it once did. Meals become less about nourishment, about fueling their body, and more about an obligation, a chore to be endured. For some, this results in skipping meals altogether or eating significantly smaller portions, sometimes unconsciously, sometimes with a heartbreaking lack of care. This isn't just a passing phase, a temporary dip in appetite. It's a physiological change, a fundamental shift as the body starts to recognize that its energy reserves are dwindling, like a bank account running dangerously low. When this happens, the signals to the brain telling us to eat, those primal urges, grow quieter and less frequent, fading into the background. What inevitably follows is a lack of energy, a profound sense of diminished strength, and a gradual, relentless decline in overall health that no amount of coaxing or encouraging, no matter how heartfelt, can truly stop. Underneath it all, there may also be serious medical conditions that are silently, insidiously contributing to this alarming weight loss. Diseases like cancer, heart failure, and kidney disease often progress without showing obvious signs until much later, when the situation becomes critical. Even conditions such as depression or cognitive decline can lead to reduced eating, a heartbreaking consequence of their inner turmoil, and contribute to a vicious cycle of weight loss. These illnesses don't just take a toll on the body. They quietly chip away at the mind, causing confusion, despair, and withdrawal, isolating them in their own silent world. The body is simply no longer able to sustain itself the way it used to, its inner workings slowly grinding to a halt. Some families, in their desperate love and concern, try to solve the problem by urging their loved ones to eat more, offering their favorite foods, the dishes they once cherished, or supplementing meals with protein shakes, hoping to force nourishment into a failing system. While these efforts come from a place of deep love, a desperate desire to help, if the weight continues to decline despite these actions, it's absolutely essential to recognize that the issue isn't just about diet. It's the body preparing for something much deeper, a profound transition that, at this stage, can't be avoided. Pushing for larger meals may not yield the desired results, and could even cause discomfort. Instead, the focus should gently shift to comfort, offering easy-to-eat foods that require minimal effort, prioritizing hydration to keep them as comfortable as possible, and creating moments of warmth and care that give the person peace of mind, a sense of calm in their final days. If you see significant weight loss in an elderly loved one, especially if they're also eating less, feeling noticeably weaker, or struggling to stay active, it's time to stop, to truly see what's happening, and to listen intently to what their body is telling you. This isn't just about appearance, about how they look. It's the body sending a profound message, a final communication. Understanding this message now, with empathy, with unwavering compassion, can help guide you through the difficult journey ahead, a journey filled with both sorrow and love. It allows you to appreciate and cherish the remaining moments with clarity, knowing that the time you have together is precious beyond measure, a fleeting gift. We must be present, fully present, and make each moment count, not out of fear, but out of deep, abiding love and respect for the path that is inevitably unfolding before us. Number 2, extreme fatigue and weakness. One of the most heart-wrenching signs, A truly devastating indicator in the year leading up to the end of life is an overwhelming, unrelenting fatigue. This is not the kind of tiredness that can be remedied by a good night's sleep, a simple recharge. It's a deep, all-consuming exhaustion that remains despite rest, despite endless hours spent in bed. It's not about feeling a bit worn out after a busy day. It's about a profound weariness that feels like it's rooted deep in their very bones, a leaden weight that drags them down. Even the simplest of tasks can suddenly become monumental, insurmountable. Rising from bed takes every ounce of effort, every last bit of their dwindling strength. A walk across the room, a distance that once seemed trivial, now feels like a grueling marathon. Everyday activities that once felt like second nature, like cooking a simple meal, getting dressed in the morning, or even holding a short conversation, now drain the person to their very core, leaving them utterly depleted. This profound fatigue isn't merely a symptom of aging, a natural slowing down. It's a stark sign that the body is working incredibly hard to conserve what little precious energy it has left, like a flickering candle trying to hold onto its flame. As organ function slowly deteriorates, the body begins to ruthlessly prioritize what's most essential for survival. The heart, once a strong and steady pump, no longer beats as efficiently. Circulation weakens, like a river drying up, and muscles aren't receiving the vital oxygen they once did, leaving them feeling heavy and unresponsive. As this happens, those in their final months begin to feel weaker, unsteady on their feet, and less capable of sustaining the activities they once enjoyed, the hobbies that brought them joy. Metabolic slowdown also plays a significant role in this debilitating fatigue. The body, once so efficient at using energy to fuel their life, now shifts its focus entirely towards self-preservation, a desperate attempt to keep the vital organs functioning. Instead of fueling movement, the precious remaining energy is diverted inwards, to keep the heart beating, the lungs breathing, however feebly. This is why many elderly individuals in decline may need to sleep more, finding themselves unable to stay awake for long periods or needing multiple naps throughout the day, seeking refuge in the quiet embrace of sleep. It's as if the body has made a profound decision, that the last few reserves of energy should be saved, not for activity, not for engaging with the world, but simply for survival, for the very act of staying alive. The emotional toll of this overwhelming fatigue is perhaps the most devastating aspect, a hidden layer of suffering. Seniors who once took immense pride in their independence, in their ability to care for themselves, begin to feel frustrated, perhaps even deeply embarrassed by their growing inability to do the things they once did with such effortless ease. They might withdraw from conversations, shy away from social interactions, or stop engaging in beloved hobbies, not because they've lost interest, but because their frail bodies can no longer support their passions, their desires. If you are still watching this video, and find these lessons useful, please comment one below to let me know that you are still here with me, that these words are resonating. This withdrawal often leads to profound isolation, and isolation, as we know, tragically accelerates the decline, like a fire starved of oxygen. Watching someone you love go from active and engaged, full of life and laughter, to withdrawn and utterly exhausted is gut-wrenching, a pain that cuts deep. As a family member, you may feel utterly helpless, unsure how to help, how to alleviate their suffering, or how to fill the heavy silence that now lingers in the room, a constant reminder of what's being lost. It's easy to mistakenly assume they're just being lazy, or that they need to simply push through it, to try harder. But the harsh reality is that pushing them won't help. It could even cause more distress. The body is speaking, and it's absolutely vital to listen, to heed its quiet but insistent message. What's most important in these precious moments is acknowledging their profound limits, accepting what they can no longer do. Allow them the space and the time they desperately need to rest, to find comfort in the quiet stillness. No amount of activity will change the inevitable course of what's happening within their body. Instead, gently focus on cherishing the quiet conversations that can still happen, creating moments of calm and profound peace. It's about making their remaining days as comfortable as humanly possible, free from the crushing pressure of needing to do something, to be productive. In the end, what truly matters is not what they can still accomplish, but how they feel, whether they feel deeply loved, truly understood, and completely supported in their final journey. When all else fades away, when memories blur and strength diminishes, the love we give and the unwavering care we provide are what leave the deepest, most lasting mark on their hearts, a final testament to the bond you shared. Number 3. Increased cognitive confusion or withdrawal. As we approach the final stages of life, the mind, that intricate and precious landscape of memories and personality, undergoes some truly heartbreaking transformations. It's as if the person you've known and loved for so long, who once possessed an engaging sharpness, a keen intellect, starts to slowly, agonizingly slip away, like sand through your fingers. It's not just occasional forgetfulness, a misplaced set of keys. It's a gradual unraveling, a heartbreaking erosion of their cognitive abilities that's incredibly hard to watch and even harder to truly understand. The person who once remembered everything, from the smallest, most insignificant details to the most cherished, life-defining memories, may now struggle to recall names, familiar faces, or even the events that happened just yesterday, leaving them lost and disoriented in their own life. Their once clear, sharp thoughts might now feel like an endless, bewildering maze of confusion, a labyrinth with no exit. And this isn't just a fleeting moment of forgetfulness, a momentary lapse in memory. This is something far more profound, far more emotionally devastating for those witnessing this painful change in a loved one. It can feel like a quiet, insidious grief, a slow letting go of the person you once knew. Imagine watching someone so full of life, so rich with knowledge and experience, slowly losing their ability to connect to the very things that used to define them, the stories that made them who they were. Conversations become harder to follow, fragmented and disjointed, and their presence in familiar places, their own home, seems overshadowed by an increasing, unsettling sense of disorientation. They may seem unaware of their immediate surroundings, asking where they are even when they're in their own living room, or get lost in places they once knew like the back of their hand, a terrifying and heartbreaking experience. When once they were lively and engaged, eager to participate in conversations and activities, they may now withdraw, becoming quieter, more detached, lost in their own internal world. And that quietness isn't because they don't care, because their love has diminished. It's because their precious mind is no longer able to process the complex emotions and connections it once did so effortlessly, so naturally. This subtle, insidious cognitive decline is an incredibly emotional journey for both the person experiencing it and their deeply worried loved ones. It's not simply a phase of forgetfulness. It's a stark sign that the mind is slowly, gently pulling away, retreating inwards as the body prepares for the inevitable final transition. You may witness heartbreaking moments of fleeting lucidity, where their eyes clear, and they recognize you with a flash of their old self, only to fade back into the fog of confusion just as quickly, leaving you clinging to that brief moment of connection. It's as though their mind is slipping in and out of time, leaving them, and us who love them, in a state of profound helplessness, watching from the outside as they drift further away. But perhaps the most devastating part of this painful process is the emotional withdrawal, the quiet retreat from the world. It's like the person who once had the vibrant energy to light up a room with their presence is now retreating into themselves, building invisible walls, withdrawing from the social interactions that once brought them so much joy and connection. They may sit in silence for long periods, perhaps gazing out the window, lost in their own thoughts, but it's not a conscious choice. Their precious brain simply no longer processes engagement in the same way. The quiet is a result of their minds struggling to keep up with the world around them, not a reflection of a lack of love or care for their family, who are watching this with such heartache. Conversations become tiring, overwhelming, often leaving them exhausted and agitated, their fragile minds unable to cope with the demands of interaction. Familiar places may no longer feel safe, and the social interactions they once thrived on may now feel burdensome, an unwelcome pressure. This is no longer entirely the person you once knew, the vibrant individual who shaped your life, and yet, heartbreakingly, it still is, deep down. Beneath the surface of confusion and withdrawal, They are still there, the essence of who they are, just one whose mind and emotions are no longer able to keep pace with their failing body. Watching someone you love slowly drift away mentally can feel like the slowest, most agonizing kind of loss, a bereavement that happens while they are still physically present. It's as if you're losing them bit by bit, piece by precious piece, but they're still physically there, within reach, and that makes it all the harder to bear, this agonizing limbo. The emotional toll on the family members and loved ones who watch this heartbreaking transformation is immense, a weight that can feel unbearable. They may feel helpless, frustrated beyond measure, and utterly grief-stricken, watching someone they love lose touch with reality in ways they can't control, ways they can't understand. The truth is, it's not that your loved one doesn't want to engage, doesn't want to connect. It's that their mind and body are no longer cooperating, no longer working in harmony. They are fighting a silent, internal battle that's incredibly difficult for us to comprehend from the outside. In these precious, delicate moments, the best, the most loving thing you can do is to meet them where they are, to step into their world with unwavering kindness and infinite patience. Don't try to force them back into a conversation they can't follow, don't expect them to remember things or respond the way they used to. Instead, offer quiet comfort with your gentle presence, speak softly, provide constant reassurance that they are safe and loved, and know that even in their silence, even when words fail them, they can still feel the warmth of your love, the unwavering support that surrounds them. It's absolutely crucial to recognize these changes early and to understand that this is often the body and mind's natural, albeit heartbreaking, process of preparing for the final transition, a gentle fading away. Cherish the quiet moments, the peaceful silences, and create an environment that is as peaceful and safe as possible, a sanctuary for their weary mind. And though their words may fade, and their memories may blur, your loving presence will still speak volumes, a language understood by the heart. The love you offer in these final stages, even without spoken words, will be felt deep within their soul, a comforting warmth in the fading light. Because in the end, love transcends memory, and even when cognitive clarity fades, your love will be the one constant, the one enduring presence that remains. Number 4. Frequent infections and slow healing. As the body approaches its final stage, its defenses, once strong and vigilant, begin to weaken, making it more susceptible to the most basic physical challenges, the everyday battles that in their younger years would have been easily fought off, like a minor skirmish. It's as though the body's defenses, once a formidable army, begin to wane, their strength diminishing. You might sadly notice that someone who rarely caught colds or dealt with minor infections is now constantly battling something, be it a persistent cough that rattles their frail body, a recurring fever that saps their remaining strength, or even a simple wound, a small cut or scrape, that stubbornly refuses to heal, lingering like an unwelcome guest. And these aren't just minor annoyances, fleeting discomforts. They're glaring, undeniable signs that the body is no longer capable of fighting off invaders, no longer able to heal itself the way it once did with such resilience. For family members watching this heartbreaking decline, it can be a deeply frustrating experience, a source of worry and anxiety. You may find yourself asking, with a growing sense of helplessness, why won't they heal like they used to? The answer lies in the body's slowly shutting down systems, the gradual failure of its intricate mechanisms. The immune system, which once responded quickly and effectively to threats, like a well-trained army springing into action, is no longer able to mount the same robust defense, its forces depleted. Repeated infections, like pneumonia that fills their lungs with fluid, making every breath a struggle, or urinary tract infections that cause confusion and discomfort, become more and more common, a relentless cycle of illness. And even the smallest wounds, a minor abrasion, a tiny cut, that would have healed in days in their younger years, now take weeks, or even longer, to show any sign of improvement, a painful reminder of their body's failing capacity. It's heartbreaking to see someone you love struggle with something as simple as a sore or a bruise that refuses to heal, a clear and poignant reminder of the increasing fragility of life, the delicate balance that is slowly tipping. As the body's circulation slows down, like a river freezing in winter, and organ function continues to decline. Even the simplest treatments, the medications that once brought relief, become less and less effective. Antibiotics, which once worked wonders, swiftly eradicating infections, may now seem almost powerless, leaving your loved one in a constant, exhausting cycle of treatment that never seems to bring lasting relief, a frustrating and disheartening situation. It's as if the body, once so full of vibrant vitality, has become a battleground where even the smallest injury can escalate into a much larger, more serious issue, a constant struggle against weakening forces. It's a cruel reminder that the body is slowly giving in, no longer able to fight back with the same strength and determination it once possessed. But what truly breaks the heart is that infections in the elderly often don't present with the obvious symptoms we expect, the telltale signs of fever or chills. Instead, the signs are often subtler, more insidious: an increase in cognitive confusion, a further clouding of their already fragile mind, a noticeable loss of appetite, a further decline in their already diminished food intake, or a quiet, persistent weariness that lingers long after the infection should have cleared, a heavy exhaustion that never seems to lift. This can make it incredibly difficult for families to recognize that something is seriously wrong until it's often too late to intervene effectively. It's easy to become fixated on curing these infections, to push for more rounds of medication, clinging to the hope of a miracle cure. But sometimes, the true miracle lies not in the cure, but in the comfort, in providing solace and peace in their final days. The focus gently shifts from aggressively fighting the infection to comforting the person, to ensuring that your loved one feels deeply loved and completely cared for in their remaining time. Hydration, keeping them gently hydrated; rest, allowing their weary body to find peace; and gentle, loving care become far more important than relentlessly fighting an infection that may never fully go away, a battle that their frail body is no longer equipped to win. This process isn't easy to accept. Watching someone you love battle illness after illness can feel like an endless cycle of loss, a constant wave of worry and heartache. But it's also a profound time to show them grace, unwavering compassion, and infinite patience. In their final stages, what they need most is your love, your comforting presence, and your gentle touch, not just relentless medical intervention. It's the quiet moments of tenderness, the soft touch on their hand, the reassuring words whispered in their ear, the knowledge that they are not alone, that will truly make a difference in their overall well-being, bringing them a sense of peace and security. Because in the end, it's not the wounds or the infections that define their final journey. It's the love and care they receive along the way, the kindness that surrounds them in their final days. Number 5. Major changes in breathing or circulation. As the body edges closer to its final, inevitable moments, one of the most poignant and unmistakable signs, a clear indicator that the end is near, is the noticeable change in their breathing patterns and circulation. These changes often arrive slowly and quietly at first, like an unspoken whisper, a gentle shift in the rhythm of life, before gradually growing louder and more frequent, becoming impossible to ignore. For a deeply concerned loved one, it's heart-wrenching to witness these profound shifts, knowing that they mark the irreversible slowing down of life, the final descent. You may sadly begin to notice their breath becoming more shallow, like they're barely taking air in, slower, with longer pauses between each inhale, as if their body is struggling to draw in the very essence of life. At times, it may feel like their breathing is labored, strained, or alarmingly irregular, sometimes quick and shallow, like a fluttering bird's wings, then at other times slow and deep, leaving you with an unsettling feeling of helplessness, a knot of anxiety tightening in your chest. One of the most significant and often distressing changes can be the onset of a gentle, almost rhythmic breathing pattern called Cheyne-Stokes respiration, which tragically alternates between periods of deep, rapid breaths, like they're gasping for air, followed by long, silent pauses, where it seems like they've stopped breathing altogether. While this may seem incredibly alarming at first glance, causing panic and fear, it's simply a natural, albeit unsettling, response from the body as it gently shifts into a different, final phase of life. And while this pattern may begin subtly, with brief pauses, over time it often becomes more pronounced, the cycles growing longer and more frequent, a stark reminder of the fading life force. You may find yourself watching helplessly, counting the seconds between breaths. As these cycles become more and more frequent, the pauses stretching out like an eternity. It's hard to ignore the heavy emotional weight of each shallow breath, each unsettling pause, as if the body is slowly, gently preparing for its final, eternal rest. Alongside the changes in breathing, circulation also noticeably weakens, like a stream running dry. This often leaves their extremities, their hands and feet, feeling cold and distant to the touch, as if the warmth of life is slowly fading away. Their hands, once warm and comforting to hold, their feet, which once carried them through life, and even their nose or ears may feel icy cold, a tangible sign of the body shutting down. The skin can also turn pale, almost ghostly white, or take on a bluish tint, particularly around the fingers and toes, a condition known as cyanosis. This is the body's way of ruthlessly prioritizing the flow of precious blood to the vital organs, the heart and brain, a clear and undeniable signal that the heart is no longer pumping as strongly and efficiently as it once did, its power waning. For family members, it's incredibly hard to watch someone you love become so physically distant, their warmth fading, their color changing. But it is so important to remember that these signs are a natural and inevitable part of the dying process, not something that can be reversed at this late stage, but something to accept with grace and profound understanding. Even the simplest of movements, things we take for granted every day, can leave them winded, gasping for air. A small shift in position in bed, simply sitting up to try and eat, or even speaking a few short sentences might cause them to struggle for breath, their chest heaving with effort. It's heartbreaking to witness when someone who once moved with such ease and grace now finds themselves gasping for air after minimal exertion, or stopping mid-sentence, their words catching in their throat as they desperately try to catch their breath. Once ordinary tasks, like simply walking across the room to use the restroom, can feel like insurmountable mountains to climb, leaving them utterly exhausted and breathless. And the frustration, the sheer helplessness mixed with the quiet resignation in their eyes, is almost unbearable to witness, a silent acknowledgement of their failing body. It's as though they are being held back by an invisible force they cannot control, a weight that drags them down, and you, the loving caregiver, feel utterly powerless to ease that burden, to give them back their breath. In some heartbreaking cases, fluid can build up in their lungs, a condition known as pulmonary edema, making every single breath a more difficult, agonizing effort to take. The sound of a persistent, rattling cough, or the unsettling gurgling noise that tragically accompanies each shallow breath, is a terrifying reminder of the increasing fragility of life, the body's final struggles. What might be easily dismissed as a common cold or a minor chest infection in a younger, healthier person is often a stark sign of the significant weakening of the lungs in the elderly, their capacity to function diminishing rapidly. As the body struggles to breathe effectively, lying flat in bed may become utterly intolerable, causing them to feel like they are drowning. They may instinctively seek comfort by sitting up, propped up on multiple pillows, or by spending their final hours resting in a recliner, trying desperately to ease the suffocating sensation. The simple act of breathing, something so often taken for granted, the very essence of life, becomes an exhausting, relentless challenge. If you are still watching this video, and find these lessons profoundly useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me, that these words are offering some measure of understanding and perhaps even comfort. For family members, witnessing these changes in their loved one's breathing is incredibly heart-wrenching, a source of deep sorrow and worry. There is often a profound sense of helplessness, a desperate wanting to offer more comfort than what you feel you are able to provide. You may feel an overwhelming urge to encourage them to breathe more deeply, to constantly check on them every few minutes to make sure they are still comfortable, still with you. But there is a profound truth to accept here, a difficult reality to face. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, there is no quick fix, no easy solution for what is happening. Instead of focusing solely on trying to reverse the inevitable, the priority must, with gentle acceptance, shift to making their remaining time as peaceful and comfortable as humanly possible. Simple comforts, like keeping the room cool and well ventilated, using a humidifier to ease their breathing, or offering small, frequent sips of water to keep their mouth moist, can make a world of difference in their comfort levels. But ultimately, what they need most in these final moments is your loving presence, your gentle touch, your unwavering love, and your quiet acceptance. Medications or oxygen therapy may provide some temporary relief, easing their breathing slightly, but the overall focus will increasingly shift toward comfort care, rather than trying to correct a process that is naturally unfolding. If you notice these significant signs, changes in their breathing patterns, their hands and feet feeling persistently cold, or a bluish tint appearing on their skin, please pay close attention. These are not signs to be feared or ignored, but to be understood as gentle signals that the body is conserving its remaining energy, slowly, quietly, and with a certain inherent dignity, shutting down. It is a precious time to simply be there for them, to offer unwavering reassurance, and to create an environment where they feel utterly safe, deeply loved, and completely at peace, where they know, without a shadow of a doubt, that they are not alone in their final journey. Final thoughts. As we gently come to the end of this important discussion, I encourage you to take a quiet moment to reflect on the 5 key signs we've explored together today: drastic and unintentional weight loss, overwhelming and persistent fatigue, increased cognitive confusion or withdrawal, frequent infections and slow healing, and the significant shifts in breathing patterns and circulation. These are the telltale indicators that may sadly appear in the year leading up to an elderly person's passing. These changes may come gradually, subtly at first, and may not be immediately noticeable amidst the hustle and bustle of daily life. But when they do become apparent, they are often unmistakable, a clear message from the body. It's completely natural, a deeply human response, to want to ignore these subtle signs at first, to desperately hope they'll simply pass, that things will go back to how they were. But eventually, with a heavy heart, the truth often becomes undeniable, a reality we must face with courage and love. For many families, these changes are incredibly difficult to accept, a painful acknowledgement of what is to come. It's only natural to want to fight against them, to encourage a loved one to eat more, to gently push them to move more, to hold on to life with every fiber of your being. But the profound reality is that sometimes, the most loving, the most compassionate thing we can do is to honor what their precious body is telling us, to respect its wisdom. We can't ultimately reverse the inevitable, the natural progression of life, but we absolutely can make their remaining time as peaceful, as comfortable, and as deeply meaningful as humanly possible, filling it with love and connection. Understanding these often subtle signs isn't about living in fear of the end of life. Quite the opposite. It's about preparing for it with an open heart and clear eyes. Recognizing these changes early, even the faintest whispers of them, gives you the invaluable chance to make informed decisions about their care, to offer the absolute best support, and to ensure that your loved one's final months are filled with unwavering love, profound dignity, and the precious gift of peace. This is a sacred time to cherish every single moment, to share heartfelt stories, to reminisce about the beautiful life they've lived, and to let them know, without a shadow of a doubt, that they are deeply valued, eternally loved, that their life has had immense meaning, and that they are absolutely not alone as they embark on their final journey. As we reflect on the poignant signs and the inevitable changes that come in the final stages of life, we sincerely hope that today's discussion has offered you not only a deeper understanding of this delicate process but also a sense of profound peace and clarity, a guiding light in a potentially overwhelming time. The journey of life is beautifully, tragically filled with moments of immense love, unexpected hardship, and ultimately, the deep and quiet acceptance of life's natural rhythms, the cyclical nature of existence. It's so important to remember that recognizing these often subtle changes in our beloved loved ones allows us the precious opportunity to offer them the utmost comfort, unwavering dignity, and unconditional love during their final, sacred moments. Now, please take a quiet moment to reflect on what you've learned with me today. What one thing, one key insight, stood out to you the most from our discussion? What is one thing you will consciously bring into practice in your own life, or in the way you lovingly care for others? We would be deeply grateful to hear from you. Please share your thoughts and reflections in the comments section below. And if you found this video even slightly helpful, if it offered you any measure of comfort or understanding, please don't forget to like, share this video with others who might benefit, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content that aims to help you navigate the complexities of life with wisdom, with profound compassion, and with unwavering grace. Thank you so much for being with us today, for sharing this space and this time with me. I sincerely look forward to continuing this important journey together. Valuable lesson. The most profound lesson we can learn from understanding these signs is the importance of presence over prevention in the final year of a loved one's life. While our instinct is to fight against the inevitable, true love and care often lie in accepting the natural progression, cherishing the remaining moments, and prioritizing comfort, dignity, and peace above all else.